Clickbait title. This was her first time. Parentheses, screaming. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Week I Review. My name is kubas-meyer, and today I want to talk about an amusement park, Islands of Adventure. See, I spent last weekend and the start of the week visiting my friend Christine in Oviedo, Florida, a town that is named after Oviedo in Spain, but lost the inflection somewhere along the way. Oviedo itself, which I have actively misspelled in the teleprompter here, so I say the improper name properly, is not all that interesting, but it provides proximity to Orlando, home of Walt Disney. Orlando as a city is also not super interesting for anything but its glut of theme parks, but that one aspect of it is very interesting indeed. The five big ones, Disney World, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Islands of Adventure, and Universal Studios, all cater to slightly different groups, but my favorite has always been Islands of Adventure. I'm a fan of rides over non-specific attractions, and I've considered that one the best of the bunch as far as that goes.
Test. How does this work? I don't know.
Anyway, it's been about 13 years since I was last in Orlando, and the park has changed in some parts and remained identical in others. There are fewer roller coasters now, which is largely a result of the removal of the dueling dragons, which I missed. In their place was a whole lot of construction. And the giant crane, clearly visible over the wall, definitely diminished some of the magic of Diagon Alley. Other than those, the rides I remembered were there, plus a few more, thanks to the addition of Harry Potter World and a ride themed after Kong Skull Island. The de-emphasis on roller coasters has been met by a bigger push towards high-tech rides with greater property integration. I find myself somewhat conflicted about this. On the one hand, the experiences offered by trusty old Spider-Man, asterisk for reasons we will talk about in a bit, and newer ones like Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey and Skull Island, Reign of Kong, create some genuinely thrilling and unique experiences unlike any you can have at any other park. On the other hand, I really like roller coasters. And sure, I could go anywhere to get on roller coasters. There are a bunch of cheaper coaster-heavy options in Orlando even, though. Why anyone would travel to the home of Disney and go to a non-Disney themed park is beyond me. But also, The Incredible Hulk is my favorite ride at the park and easily one of my favorite coasters, period. I greatly enjoyed Dueling Dragons as well back in the day. I want some loops, you know? And there's only one place in the whole park to get them, and that's a bit of a shame. Christine had never been to an amusement park before, which made this visit particularly special. And our first ride, her first ever amusement park ride, was Spider-Man. In Spider-Man, you put on a pair of 3D glasses and get sent out into Manhattan, not where I was looking to be on my vacation away from Manhattan, but in a car with a bunch of other folks. You can see Spider-Man, you see villains, and there are actual flames and water, and you get lifted into the air and dropped, and it's all very exciting. But it broke. In the climax, the projection gave out. First, the audio lost sync, and then the video looped, and then went black. And in that moment, the illusion's lost. The moment I remembered, one of the most intense of the entire ride as you feel yourself falling, is nothing. It was actually kind of fascinating in the sense that you realize just how much work your brain is doing to make the whole thing function. The vehicle barely needs to move for you to feel the intense movement, but you want to feel it from start to finish. It made me wonder if we were a one-off or if there was something generally wrong with the ride and no one bothered to inform the operators. I considered it, but didn't, and maybe no one else did either. This wasn't an isolated incident. 2 rides, Spider-Man and Jurassic Park, and 1Q, the one for The Incredible Hulk, had moments when the theme park broke through the facade. Despite the glitch, I enjoyed the ride. It's a great ride, and Christine did too. 1 down. It's a start. The last time I went to a Disney theme park, my family picked up the tab. This time, the $115 ticket, more I imagine than it was in 2005, ripped a hole right in my wallet. But you know what? Vacation, am I right? If I can't make not always financially sound decisions while I'm traveling, why even bother having money in the first place? Before going on another ride, we experienced the 8th voyage of Sinbad, a live show with some not necessarily great fighting, but pretty great other stunts. That was fun. As with Spider-Man, there was actual fire there, and I could feel it from the stand. But unlike Spider-Man, where it was probably 15 to 20 feet away, here it was at least 60, and I still felt it. I can't even imagine how hot it is for the people on stage within spitting distance of the flames. Christine bought butterbeer in the Wizarding World, which seemed like something that just had to happen. It tastes like cream soda with butterscotch topping. I had about 5 sips of it and liked it well enough, but could tell that it would send me into a sugar coma if I had any more. 2.5 wands. There's an entry-level hippogriff coaster there that we went on.
This roller coaster's pretty sweet, simple, but it's my compatriot's first roller coaster, which is okay. And then we went on the other Harry Potter ride, which she didn't do so well. I had fun, so.
I left the ride thinking that it felt like the logical evolution of Spider-Man. The lack of glasses, the more intricate projections, it all felt very modern, where Spider-Man felt retro. This even extends to the set. One of the most fun things about these attractions is the work that went into the pre-ride. Long corridors with lovingly crafted sets to get you into the mood, videos and props made just for the ride. If your wait is less than 40 minutes, you're going to spend that whole time in this environment. And it adds greatly to the experience. Forbidden Journey's moving paintings, which appeared to have a textured matte layer over them to really make them look like they had been painted on, were a particularly nice touch. But all of it was just gorgeous. Whereas Spider-Man looked like this. We went on a Monday after school was already in session, much like my trip to Nueva Vallarta. This off-season visit resulted in waits that were manageable at worst. These lines are built to accommodate such large groups that when the expected wait is only 20 minutes, you can spend literally 5 just getting to an actual person to stand behind. This was truest with Harry Potter, but there were long walks to at least 3 separate rides. Still, we never waited more than half an hour. And while we watched the people with their express passes skip ahead, I never felt the urge to drop the extra $65. So, not completely financially unsound. Going on Kong's ride made me realize that I was wrong in my original assumption about Harry Potter. The newest ride is even more projection heavy, but it requires 3D glasses. So it has to do with the experience. As with Spider-Man, Kong puts you in a car with a number of others. You all experience it together versus the feeling of isolation you have with Harry Potter, where you're hidden by headguard. And you're able to look around at projections that come at you on both sides. In this environment, the glasses are a necessity. Kong's line also has the most impressive animatronic I have ever seen, of an elder woman making what are probably religious proclamations about Kong, who I, from a distance, thought was a real person. After the fun but silly ones on the Jurassic Park ride, where you can literally hear the movement, the jump in tech was very impressive. Jurassic Park didn't glitch, but
Just went on the Jurassic Park River Adventure. It's good, except some guy in the car behind wouldn't take his hat off, so they kept sort of ruining the ride to tell a dude to take his hat off.
The Incredible Hulk went down while I was in line, which resulted in some weird dissonance.
I was confused because there's a man's voice saying, oh, we're experiencing a brief delay, and then a woman's voice saying, you know, status update, gamma radiation is being found in the pods, or whatever. So it was going back and forth between the park saying something and the ride itself saying a different thing. And it made it seem like, oh, maybe it's going to work out. And then it turned from a brief delay to an extended delay.
So that was frustrating, particularly since they made me put away my cell phone, camera, etc. in a locker, resulting in me being alone and bored because we decided Christine probably shouldn't take that. Eventually, though.
Status update. I took it. It was awesome. My head hurts, bouncing around a lot, but like, so good. One of my favorite roller coasters, maybe my favorite roller coaster.
We went on one other ride and walked through one other attraction. The Ripsaw Falls Log Flume and Fury of Poseidon walking tour. Ripsaw Falls is a classic, and it's a ride that people will literally stop to watch others experience as they go down the hill. Jurassic Park has that too, seen from a different angle. More importantly, Ripsaw Falls makes you, the rider, much wetter. It costs $4 to rent a locker by the ride. It was the only money I spent once we got into the park itself, and it was a great purchase. Some rides, Harry Potter, Incredible Hulk, will give you free locker access because it would be dangerous to have loose stuff hanging around during them, and they're not going to make you pay for something that's required. The water rides don't have that, but like, if you're walking around with a camera because you're vlogging in a theme park, rent a locker. Your stuff is going to get soaked and probably not work anymore and then not be under warranty because of severe water damage, and then people will laugh at you and you will deserve it. Alec?
No, I'm wet.
Lastly, Poseidon's Fury. This was the one older attraction that I hadn't done before, and I'm both sad and glad about that. Sad because it was super cool and I wish I hadn't missed it the last times around, and glad because it was super cool and I got to experience it for the first time. In its climax, the whole space just opens up in a way that is genuinely awe-inspiring, and though the projectors appear to be in dire need of bulb replacement, resulting in some muddled visuals, it was an incredible show. And that was the experience in a nutshell. Sure, it would have been nice for things to have worked properly, and that guy in the Jurassic boat behind me to have not been wearing a hat while a disembodied voice berated him over it. But though they impacted the immersion in those moments, they didn't diminish the overall experience. As I mentioned before, there's something kind of amusing about seeing behind Disney's curtain. They work so hard to keep you from seeing the seams, and to watch them fail, it feels like a special thing. 9.0 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more, there's buttons down there that'll let me know, let you do that. If you want to talk about this or anything else, you can do so in the comments down below or on Twitter. I check the comments every day, and usually no one has said anything, but I check anyway. So, say hi. I hope to see you next week.